What is Thailand like to travel in 2022? I'm going to answer that question and many other questions about Thailand, traveling in Thailand, the budget, how much I've spent, as I've stayed here for 3 months now. It's my second time here. I was here just before COVID and now after COVID, so I can give you, I think, quite a good little rundown of the situation. Anyway, I'm going to show you the room that we're in right now. We're on Koh Tao. It's a small island. This is some dude that I'm traveling with now called Jordan.
How's it?
He's got his own YouTube channel, jordan.journeys.
It's not on my shirt.
But anyway, let me just show you our room. This is the balcony. It's a 150 baht room, basically. There we go. We've got chairs, table, nice little decent balcony, and it's quite close to the beach. You can't see the beach because there's loads of trees in the way, but it's a really nice little area, nice and green. Keeps me happy. Anyway, like I say, it's 150 baht each. This is the cheapest place we could find on the island. So I'm actually going to go into this actually about how COVID has affected the prices in Thailand, because some things really aren't as cheap as they used to be, and we'll discuss why and blah 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 blah. But anyway, 300 baht split between 2 people. This is what it's like. So we've got 2 beds in here, shared bedroom. That's Jordan's stuff there, that's my stuff there. Sometimes it gets a little bit messy, but we have our own little piles, you know. We literally travel with, or we live with, everything that we have in these bags. So sometimes when you just get to a destination, you spend a few days, you just unpack everything. But anyway, we've got 2 beds here, 2 nice big beds. The mattresses are decent. They're firm, but they're soft at the same time. They're not like wood, like some of the other budget places. Now, one little quirk of this place is that you can see here, this is a nice fluffy blanket that Jordan out there has got. Mine didn't come with a blanket, actually. Mine came with, in fact, this is my towel, and I've got 3 towels here. These are actually, believe it or not, I've been sleeping with these towels as my blanket because it's so hot down here in the south. And every time I go to bed, I remember that I haven't gone and spoken to the old lady that owns this place. I keep forgetting. So for the past 3 nights, I've actually slept with this pink towel as a blanket, which is quite funny. But it's kind of comfortable. It's nice and heavy, but not too heavy. Anyway, it's a nice room. In fact, it's a very nice room. It's got a fridge, which is, this can save you a lot of money as a budget traveller. We've got the important things here. We've got some Gatorade, we've got some water, and we've got some beer. So, very important. We've also got a kettle. Now, these are really good because you've got lots of like noodle pots and things like this, things that are dehydrated, that are cheap, that you can buy from 7-Eleven or blah 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 blah, and it can save you a lot of money if you just, even if you just eat one meal as like something that was dehydrated, a pot noodle or something like this, just per day, you can save yourself a lot of money. For example, if you're saving yourself, you know, $1.50, $2 a day for one meal, you know. Some people spend that. I spend probably around $1. Let's call it $1. You spend $1 a day for 1 year, and you're saving yourself $365 just off of, you know, eating a pot noodle a day. Anyway, we've got 2 fans. Now, it does have AC, but it's obviously more expensive for AC. We've got, this is actually really important down here. It's full of mosquitoes. It's terrible, actually. But this is the only room, the only budget room that I've ever had in Thailand that is actually completely closed off to the mosquitoes. So once you shut the doors and you begin the great cull every evening of the mosquitoes, then you're free. And this is something I've not actually had as a budget traveller in Thailand. So, you know, the small things. I also really like these quirky little ways that in fact that one's a bit dodgy. I like the ways that you can just open and shut the curtains like this. See that? Just on a string. I know that's probably quite a simple thing for some people, but I'm quite simple as it is. I'm very impressed with that, you know. In the UK, we just go, and then you'd have to go over here. It just feels very medieval, you know. We need to get with the times in the UK. Also, another thing that we need to get with the times with in the UK is a bum gun. A lot of Westerners think that this is kind of unhygienic, having, you know, squirting your bum crack, you know. I don't want to get too into it, but you squirt in your butt. with water, with the bum gun. And because everyone shares it, they say that this is dirty. But I don't know. Like I said to someone earlier, if a bird poos on your face, are you going to dry wipe it with a tissue and just leave it at that? Or are you going to use some water and wash your face off? That's all I'm saying. I'm going to try and go on a campaign in Britain to try and introduce the bum gun, because I think it's way better. Next pandemic, you don't have to worry about the tissue. There's not going to be... anyone with a bum gun on the next pandemic is basically going to be... they're probably about 10% more zombie proof. Just because if the supermarkets run out of toilet tissue, they're not going to be running around with dirty arses. Anyway, this is a budget place, so we are quite lucky to get a bum gun. Quite often, you get this special little bucket bucket thing with a handle, and you just have to quite literally splash. You just have to splash your ass with that. Now, I've been caught in the precarious situation where, because I don't use tissue, I don't travel with tissue, I have sometimes not been able to use this, and I'm not even going to go into it, but anyone who has mastered the butt cup, give me some tips, because I know in my travels, and I've got something big to tell you in a minute, I know in my travels that I'm going to be stuck with this again. Anyway, we've got a nice hot shower. Again, this is really good for a cheap budget place. In Thailand, quite often, if you're getting a private room for like 200 baht, that's like very cheap. And quite often, especially in Bangkok for some reason, they come with cold showers. So I was showering for a month cold, and you might think, well, it's 30 degrees Celsius there, it's really hot, it's nice. Well, actually, when you wake up in the morning and you know your body's not waking up, you've not got that fire burning in you, that power, it's not nice, it's not that comfortable. But yeah, you get used to it. Anyway, I don't have to, I've got a hot one. It comes with a sink, which, believe it or not, for a budget place, sometimes you don't get that, so that's a luxury too. Now, the wires are a little bit dodgy to this one, but I'd say the Thailand dodgy wireness of this is probably a 5 out of 10. It's not too bad. I'm not scared to take a shower like I am in some places. Sorry for the lighting in here, it's kind of rubbish. However, it is made a little bit better by the budget skyline that's been put in here. So this is, you know, like what you have in offices, in schools and things like this mass-produced, quite cheap style of ceiling. And what they've done is they've just got some perspex and just laid it over. So that is the skyline. Now, I actually really respect that. I think that's kind of cool. It's a good example of how they do things here in Southeast Asia. As long as it works, you know, and it does the job, then it's good. If it's not conventional, that doesn't matter in Thailand or Laos or Cambodia, as I've definitely noticed. But anyway, this is 300 baht room. I don't want to go into it too much. I think I've shown you everything. Yeah, I mean, it has a towel rack. Yeah, that's it. So now we're going to discuss what it is like to travel Thailand in 2022. I'm going to discuss how much I've spent, what is more expensive, what is cheaper, how do the people react to me, how many things are open, all these kinds of things. Maybe go into some controversial topics. Who knows? Anyway, we're going to walk down to the beach. I'm going to show you the lovely beach down here. And whilst we go down there, when we get to the beach, I'm going to have a beer with Jordan here. Cheers, everybody. Let's just nut. I was going to film myself talking about what it's like to travel Thailand whilst we walk to the beach. But these cicadas are so loud that it's not possible. So, but anyway, one thing I want to point out is there are probably, it's so loud, I'm sorry for this. This is just the noise of Thailand, the pure noise of Thailand. But there are many bungalows like this, probably maybe 15 on this little area that this old lady owns. And we're the only people that are occupying these bungalows. So that's something about Koh Tao. Compared to Koh Phangan, Koh Tao, I'm sorry for the lighting, I'm sorry for the noise, but compared to Koh Phangan, Koh Tao is completely shut down. There's a few 7-Elevens open, there's quite a few restaurants open, but compared to what it was before, when you drive along the streets, most of the places are shut. It's really sad to see. In Koh Phangan, I'd say there's so many places shut. However, there's more life to it because it's more well known. Anyway, we're gonna get to the beach because this is too loud. I'm sorry. I'll answer all your questions in a moment. These cicadas are so loud, man, and it's so weird because it's basically we're just hearing hundreds of insects just screaming, "Where's a mate? I want to make babies." But you know, I'm trying to be polite. But effectively, that's what these insects are screaming. It's a terrible, terrible noise. Anyway, I'm at the beach now. It was literally a 1 minute walk, maybe not even that. And look at this. You got beautiful coconut palms. You got this nice, lovely round rock. You got just a beautiful bay. It's just a really beautiful bay. Look at this. And I'm paying 150 baht to stay in a really nice, quiet, secluded area and have a beach 1 minute's walk. Literally this beach. Look at this. This is beautiful. There's a resort down here. This is what the front of the beach looks like. It's really peaceful. Not so developed here as well, which I like. But really calm sea. It's just so beautiful. The sun has set. It's set over there. I'm a little bit late on the lighting, to be honest with you. But anyway, 150 baht for this experience here. It's beautiful. Sorry for the lighting. Now, one thing I'll just get straight into it. One thing I've noticed about Thailand compared to 2 years ago in 2019, pre-COVID, is that it's not actually as cheap as it used to be. No, it's marginal, but I'm a budget traveler, so I always find the cheapest stuff everywhere. Cheapest food, everything. I won't go into it. Everything I find the cheapest, so I know, I can remember it's a good baseline. So 2 years ago, it was much easier to get budget accommodation. It was very easy to get hostels at 100 baht per night. Very easy. There was loads of them, particularly in Bangkok, everywhere. Now right now, what's happened is that there's so many places that have shut because they haven't been able to afford it. They've not been able to survive COVID the past 2 years. Now the ones that have survived it, that were cheap, they've had to put their prices up because they're trying to survive, you know. I completely understand it. You know, I'm not against it at all, but it has meant that the price of budget accommodation has probably gone up. Probably, where, let's say if a 100 baht hostel was 100 baht, it's probably 200 baht now. Or if you could get a private room for 250 baht, it's probably 350, 400 baht, something like that, you know. So it has made a difference. Now also that it's made a difference with budget food. So budget restaurants, for example, there was so many in Thailand before. Now there still are, but let's talk about Koh Tao, for example, a very touristy area. Most of the places are shut. The cheapest meal that you can get in Koh Tao right now is 70 baht for a fried rice. That's your base level thing, your base level meal, 70 baht. My arm is starting to ache, so it's a bit embarrassing. Maybe I should do some weights or something. But anyway, basically what I'm trying to get to is that most of the budget places have not survived COVID because these are not rich people, you know. These are not people with assets, you know, resorts and you know, luxury cars and things like this that they can liquidate. They've had to just shut up, I mean like their business, and go straight to the farms and just work rurally or things like this. Oh, there's a little dog. There was 3 dogs, but there's a little dog just sleeping on the beach. How beautiful is this? Look at this. This is so beautiful. There's beautiful dogs here. But yeah, basically, but because so many places have shut, and because typically the budget places, they've not been able to survive because they haven't got the assets, they haven't got the cash, they have ended up shutting. So things are more expensive, to be honest with you. Whereas 2 years ago, you could very easily spend $500 a month in traveling around very easily and still live very well and not have to worry and spend too much time finding budget places. Now that's much harder. The first month, where I was in Phuket for 2 weeks and Bangkok for 2 weeks, I did that. It's $500, no problem. I try and spend $500 or less per month. Now, the past 2 months, I haven't been able to do that. And I went north. The north is typically cheaper than the south, but because Phuket is so well known, more places are open, so there's more competition, so there's a lot of budget places. Now you can get, to be honest with you, the north, the food is still way cheaper, but the accommodation, because there's so many places shut, it is more expensive, a little bit more expensive, but it makes a difference to the budget traveler over the course of a month. Now, how do people treat me as a foreigner? Because at the beginning of the pandemic, travelers globally were sort of blamed for spreading the virus. I won't get into whether that's true or not. It probably is, partly actually. But no, here in Thailand right now, people are so appreciative to have customers. It's really obvious. They're really happy. You come to Thailand, you're just helping people. And to be honest with you, if you're a budget traveler, you're helping the people that really need help. The people that have no money, no margins of savings or anything like this. You're helping these kinds of people. So a lot of people slate budget backpackers, but right now, the budget backpackers are the only people that are keeping the poorer people, the poorer restaurants, the smaller restaurants going. We're the only people that are paying for their children's education and stuff like this right now, because, you know, right now there's not many budget backpackers. That's another thing. The dynamic of traveling, of the social dynamic of traveling. I'm going to sit on the beach here. I'm running out of light. How much light have I got? The social dynamic of traveling in Thailand right now is completely different. So Thailand's known as a budget backpacker destination full of backpackers. In fact, a lot of the expats and things, you know, they complain about it, you know, or, you know, when I often get comments on my channel by expats that are like, oh, you know, spend your money, you know, stop being cheap and stuff like this. But to be honest with you, like I say, when I go to these, you know, people that have smaller restaurants, that they're cheaper, they're budget, that most travelers right now are missing because they're coming on holidays and things like this. There's a lot of like professional couples that are coming traveling and things like this. They have money to spend. They'll go to the more expensive places because, you know, cheap is relative. So, you know, for me, 250 baht for a meal or 200 baht is expensive, but for most people that are, you know, coming from America or Europe or things like this, that's still cheap. And if they're a professional couple and they've got the money to burn and they're only coming here for 3 months, which is basically the deal right now, that's mainly that. There's not so many budget backpackers, and I think there's not many backpackers because the most people that are backpackers, they're usually younger, or they're in a point of their lives where they don't have many responsibilities and things like this. So all this paperwork and stuff like this, the Thailand pass and everything that you need to do to get into Thailand, I think that is deterring all the lazy, cheap backpackers, you know? And that brings me on to something that is a little bit controversial. So Thailand, Bali, a couple of places like this, they've vowed, or they've said that this COVID pandemic has restarted their whole tourism industry, and what they want to do is they want to get rid of the budget backpackers, because, you know, backpackers don't spend as much money as, you know, holiday makers and things like this, so they want to just generate more money. However, what's happened so far is that I've noticed is that most of the places, or I would almost say the majority of businesses in Thailand that right now are suffering or have gone extinct and no longer operating is because they were budget places. These are budget hostels, these are budget restaurants. No one here are budget backpackers. There's not many budget backpackers. And Thailand and Bali, the government's saying that they don't want these, you know, and they're bringing in, you know, policy, you know, making some things more expensive. It's all marginal. I don't think it's too much, but they're making visas and things more expensive in the future and things like this. They're trying to make it so that backpackers don't come, cheap backpackers don't come. But my argument is this. So, for example, most people, if they come traveling for 6 months, they'll sort of try and save sort of £750 to £1,000 per month to spend in, let's say, Thailand, if they come to Thailand for 3 months. So let's say they're spending £3,000 in Thailand over the 3 months. Now, you might have someone that comes over for a 1 week holiday and they might spend £1,500 for that 1 week holiday. And yeah, they've spent more money in a shorter time period, but they haven't spent as much money. You know, people are saving up for a whole year or more to come and spend all their money as budget backpackers over here, and they're not spending their money. They're just spending it over a longer time, but they're still spending it all over here. Now, what's happened is, because there's no backpackers here, so many of the places have shut down. So many of the places are not operating anymore. All the places that are operating are places like this. It's all lights now, and Jordan's just turned up. But this is a resort. And it's an expensive resort. It's luxury. Look at it. It's right on the bloody beach. It's beautiful. It's far beyond what I can afford. But these are the places that are surviving right now. The rich people, the people that have got loads of assets. And it's because right now backpackers aren't coming to Thailand. Not so many. You know, a lot of people call themselves backpackers, and I don't want to get like snooty or anything, but there's a difference between coming to Thailand and having an extended holiday for a month, 3 months, you know, and being a holiday maker and having a holiday. It's a different style of travel to backpacking, you know, really going around using local buses and traveling, you know, different. But yeah, that's the main difference. Now, is Thailand worth it? Is Thailand worth it for the budget backpacker? Absolutely. If you are really strict with your budget, it doesn't mean you have to like not have any fun or anything like this, but if you're strict with your budget, then I think if you're a first-time traveler, you can probably spend, your budget will probably be in the south, $500 to $750 per month, and in the north it can be $500, I would say. Now, the reason why it's been more expensive for me is because I've been moving around a lot. I've got a lot of footage that I haven't uploaded that I'm going to upload, but I run my channel off of, I use a GoPro to film and editing, uploading, running everything. I don't have anything other than a broken iPhone 7. I paid for it to get fixed, but dodgy repair. So yeah, I've been having issues with being able to edit and upload. So I've got loads of stuff coming up. But anyway, gone on a tangent, completely forgot what I was talking about. Is it worth it to come to Thailand as a budget backpacker? Yes, budget. Let's just say anywhere between $500, $750 per month is doable, but you do have to, you know, you have to work for that a little bit. Now, $1,000 easy, so that gives you sort of a little bit of inspiration on what you can save. Now, when Laos opens up, go to Laos, because that's really cheap. It's beautiful. It's like Thailand 50 years in the past, but that's not a derogatory comment. That is, it means that the jungle is very beautiful. It's less developed, but in a way that means that, you know, it's very authentic and things like this. So I would say start in Thailand, learn how to travel a bit where it's easier. Go to Laos, it's bloody beautiful. It's very cheap as well, because they did the opposite. All their prices went way down because there was less tourists, whereas over here most people just shut and they've put the prices up to try, because there's less tourists, they're trying to still try and make some gains, you know, some profit, and so they've had to put their price up. Now, there's, in terms of COVID restrictions, if you're still here, I appreciate it. In terms of COVID restrictions, Thailand is completely open, as long as you're wearing a mask in public. Now, you can be out on the beach, out in the open, you don't wear a mask. I've walked past police officers, smiled at them, they've smiled back, no problem. But if you go into any establishments like 7-Eleven or something like that, and you're in a crowded street, put the mask on, because you can officially get fined 20,000 baht. There is quite a lot of Omicron around here in Thailand as well right now. So we were on Koh Phangan. We got there, we read that there was 25 times more COVID there than anywhere else in Thailand. We got a bit scared. So because we're leaving in a week, in fact, I'm going to Sri Lanka. So if anyone has any tips about Sri Lanka, I've not done much research. I know the research I've done is on history and culture, but not traveling and the logistics of travel and prices and things like this. So please help me if you know anything about traveling in Sri Lanka. However, we are trying to isolate a little bit because there's a lot of COVID around. We're not scared about, you know, dying from Omicron or anything like this, but we're staying away from people. So I'm probably I'm not going to be uploading much, and that's why I've not been uploading so much recently, because we're just, you know, we're a little bit worried. We've heard that there's loads of people getting it. We don't want to accidentally get it and then spread it to people and be irresponsible, and we don't want to get it and then go to do our flight and do our PCR test and then end up having it because we've been mixing around with everyone, and then going into a 2-week quarantine in Thailand, and those expensive, and losing out on the flight and stuff like this. So that's what we're doing right now. There'll be loads of Thailand content coming out in the next week or so. Loads. That was a bit strong, I'm sorry for that. That was a loaded load. Anyway, if you've made it this far through the video, I really appreciate it. And by the way, I really appreciate everyone that's subscribed to my channel. So all the people that have subscribed since day one, and everyone that recently is jumping on the bandwagon of True Budget Traveling and subscribing, I really do appreciate it. And I know there were a few people that were a little bit upset with my monkey video because we unfortunately accidentally littered. We littered, you know, 3 yogurt pots and a polystyrene takeaway box, and I'm really anti-plastic, so I did feel bad when I was looking at it, when I was editing it. I did feel bad, but I still put the video up because I'm not going to be fake, you know, and things like this. I enjoyed the monkey video, but I do feel bad. So anyone that was a bit disappointed in me, I am going to say sorry. A little bit of a Logan Paul moment, I suppose. I didn't really think about them grabbing the plastic and then running off of it. It was a bit stupid of me, a bit naive. However, what me and Jordan are going to do, we're running out of light. Look, Jordan's got the phone on me. We're running out of light. Appreciate it, my brother. But what we're going to do is we're going to run along the beach. Well, no, we're going to walk along the beach, clean up as much plastic as we can. We're going to go snorkeling, maybe make a video. I tried making a video the other day snorkeling. It was crap. Maybe it won't go up. But there was, when we were snorkeling in this sea here, literally just in here, looks like there's a couple over there maybe doing something naughty, but yeah, I saw I've been trying to ignore that for the past few minutes, but pointing the camera, it came up. I think there's a couple doing something unsavory. Anyway, there's loads of plastic in there, so we're gonna go in there, we're gonna clear some of that. If I don't make a YouTube video of it, maybe I'll just get a little thing on Instagram or something like this. So I'm gonna repent my sins, my monkey plastic sins. Unfortunately, I am a little bit embarrassed about it, so I'm gonna say sorry to Mother Nature. I'm gonna go and take way more plastic out of the ocean and off the beach, and go take it to the bins and recycle any of its plastic bottles and stuff like this. So I'm sorry about this, guys. Sometimes I'm an idiot. Anyway, I don't want to make it too much of a big thing because it was an accident. It was only a few little things, but I know it pissed off a few of you, and it annoyed a few people that commented that I actually really care about your opinions. You know, there's a few of you that, you know, people that always comment and are loyal. I care about what you think, you know, so I am sorry. I mean that. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy this beer. I'm going to edit this, try and get this up tonight because I've been a bit crappy with uploading. Yeah, anyway, come to Thailand, it's worth it. It's still cheap, it's just a little bit harder to be really, really cheap, but it's still 100% worth it. The vibe here is different, it's quieter, you see the locals interact with you in a more authentic way. It's brilliant, it's beautiful, the people are wonderful. Come and try and save the travel industry in Thailand, help these people. They're accommodating. It's the land of smiles, and it's not called the land of smiles for no reason. So yeah, if anyone chooses to come to Thailand because of this video, just one person, I will be really, really proud of myself, because you know, even just bringing one person over to come and spend $1,000 a month, you know, that's going to help someone. Anyway, I really appreciate everyone that's subscribing to the channel, everyone that's commenting. It was my birthday the other day. I accidentally deleted the video. Well, the storage and everything went funny on my phone, so that didn't go up. So maybe give me a like for my birthday or something like this. I'm an easy man to please. Anyway, I hope everyone that's watching this is having a decent time. If you're not having a decent time, send me a message on Instagram. We can have a talk. I've gone through my waves of happiness and unhappiness here in my life, in this one life here that I've been experiencing. So yeah, we can have a chat. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. If you need me, Instagram me. I'm slow on the message, but I'll help any of my brothers, sisters, aunties or uncles out. Any tips on Sri Lanka, comment below. Anyway, subscribe, like, comment, share. Tell someone today that you love them, or make them happy in some way. Make someone smile today, I don't know.
Go to Thailand.
Go to Thailand. Peace.